The second, the revitalization of downtown and the economic development potential that it harbors. I bring because you need to know from anybody who's talking about being a commissioner that they understand this isn't I'm for it one day and I'm against it the next. I'm going to work in that direction for a year, and then if it's not done in a year, I'm done. It's a long-term commitment. It's an important commitment. It's a commitment that's going to take probably a decade to see come to realization, but we need to start. And unfortunately, the stops and starts have been a lot more frequent than they needed to be, and they really have hindered any type of progress downtown. Our merchants downtown have a right to a city that's committed to them, and ultimately I think that the downtown certainly has a lot of potential for us as far as economic development. On a more positive note, this current commission has put in motion a number of things that I think are very positive for the citizens of Johnson City. We've got a new vehicle to encourage, promote, and assist with economic development, the Economic Development Council. We've got a CEO on board. I certainly look forward to the opportunity to work with him. And I think that this really holds a lot of hope for our community as far as bringing more businesses in and improving our tax base. We're finally moving on plans developed several years ago to address the traditional flooding problem in downtown, and in the process we're creating green space which improves the functionality and the cosmetics of downtown. We've connected ETSU with downtown in a rather unique fashion, and we've got major building going on both sides of Johnson City's downtown with the community campus project that's planned over here, and on the opposite side of town with University Edge. These are important and very significant moves. Significant because they are building blocks in the revitalization and economic revitalization of downtown, and significant because the revitalization of downtown represents a logical form of economic development, one over which we have greater control, one over which we can exercise greater certainty, and one which in the process of occurring holds not merely economic value, but also intrinsic value in an enhanced community identity and establishing community pride. Wouldn't it be wonderful to see Johnson City known as more than simply a retail and a medical destination? How wonderful would it be to see a performing arts center or an educational center as anchors of a revitalized downtown, bringing in the foot traffic from which surrounding businesses can thrive and feed off of one another. It can happen. But I believe that it requires at least two components missing from the current approach. First, this community must again have the discussion about what it desires its downtown to be. If it's cultural, that's wonderful. If it's railroad emphasis, that's wonderful as well. Whatever it is, though, this time we need to move from discussion to planning and implementation and not allow the process to stymie and stagnate, as so often has happened here. Second, there has to be a commitment to improve the appearance of downtown. A concrete demonstration of this city's commitment to a vital and a viable downtown. I believe that it is a truth for most communities that the identity which is established for the center city is the identity that the community holds in most visitors' minds. I don't think at this point that's a good one. We have a long way to go in that regard, not just from putting a description on who we are, but as regards the appearance of our downtown. Our merchants have been more than patient with our lack of resolve to address the dilapidated appearance of the downtown district than they ever should have had to be. The message of grime, 6 different patch colors of concrete in a block span, absentee landlords who are allowed the luxury of dilapidated appearing or boarded over facades and windows is of a city government that just is not committed to its downtown. And I ask you, why would anyone want to invest significant monies with that type of appearance and under those conditions and that apparent lack of resolve on the part of community leaders? It's time for us to realize that we're going to see that if we are going to see the level of private investment we need, we're going to have to step up as a municipality, infuse some public funds, leverage with identified state and federal funds, and provide a consistency of appearance and a commitment to upkeep which is appealing, welcoming, and suggestive of a community that cares about its identity and its place in the region. That look is designed into the Warehouse Park project. It's time to accelerate its plan through the entire downtown, a consistency of benches, street lamps, sidewalks, and signage. An end to unkept facades and lots. To fail to do so will result in a continuing paucity of significant investment and will ultimately result in a wasted expenditure in the green space of Warehouse Park as it becomes simply an area for loitering of our transient population. That is not the vision that I have for our Johnson City.